Chapter 3, CONFIDENCS. Saturday arrives with that typical weekend laziness. I wake up late, still feeling the effects of last night's drinks, but with a persistent smile on my lips. Images of the night with Pedro continue to appear in vivid flashes, his amber-brown eyes observing me with intensity, his firm fingers on my waist, the taste of his lips mixed with beer. I'm lying contemplating the ceiling when I hear the apartment door open, followed by the unmistakable sound of a wheeled suitcase being dragged across the floor. My heart leaps with joy. Fair is back. "Sofia, where are you? I already miss you before even seeing you." Her cheerful voice echoes through the hallway, carrying that contagious energy that always pulls me out of the worst mood. I get up in one impulse, throwing the sheet aside. "Fair." I run to the living room and find her standing in the middle of her own creation of mess. Open suitcase on the floor, coat thrown over the sofa, a shopping bag tipped over. Typical hurricane Fair. We hug with that familiarity of those who know every inch of each other's soul. Her perfume, always the same since the first year of college, brings me a wave of comfort and nostalgia. "I missed you, you antisocial nerd," she says, moving away to examine me from head to toe, but keeping her hands on my shoulders. Her eyes sparkle with that characteristic vivacity, but then she narrows her gaze theatrically. "Wait, you look different. There's something on your face. You weren't going to tell me you're in love." I can't help the smile that spreads across my face. It's amazing how Fair always manages to read through me, as if I were a book with particularly large and well-illuminated pages. "Maybe," I answer enigmatically, though I know my face is betraying me. "Tell me everything now." She drags me to the sofa, pushing her own things aside with a careless movement. "I want details, and don't hide anything just because you think I'll tease you, because I will, but that's why you love me." I laugh, feeling that lightness that only her presence can bring. Fair has been away for a whole week, visiting her father. He's a successful businessman, but, contrary to the stereotype, has always made a point of maintaining a close relationship with his daughter. Even with a tight schedule, time with Fair is sacred to him, a whole week every year without exceptions. She studies business administration to fulfill her father's dream of seeing her take over the family business someday, though she has a natural talent for music and arts. The amazing thing is that, even though it wasn't her initial passion, Fair has become one of the best students in her program, facing challenges with that irritating ease she's always had for practically everything in life. "How was it with your father?" I ask before diving into the story about Pedro. Fair's smile widens even more. "Wonderful. He took me to see the new factory, of course, but we also took an incredible boat trip, dined at absurd restaurants, and he didn't look at his phone even once during our conversations." She fiddles with her wrist, showing off a delicate white gold bracelet. "And he gave me this. Said it matches my eyes, can you believe it? My father, the secret romantic." I smile, genuinely happy for her. Fair's relationship with her father has always been something I admired, the affection and mutual respect. "Now enough about Daddy Dearest. Who's the lucky guy who got your attention?" She makes herself comfortable on the sofa, crossing her legs like a child ready to hear a story. I bite my lip, feeling a wave of heat rise up my neck. "Remember the freshman I told you about? The computer science one who seemed lost among the literature students." Her eyes widen. "The nerd from the freshman caravan you messaged me about? Seriously?" She doesn't seem particularly impressed. "I expected something more. I don't know, up to your standards." "He's not just a nerd," I defend, though the smile doesn't leave my face. "He's different." And so I begin to tell everything, from our meeting at the library to the night at the bar and what happened afterward in the alley. Fair listens attentively, but I notice that not with that eager interest she usually shows when she's really curious about someone. It's more like she's happy for me, regardless of who the guy was. We've known each other since we were 10, when she transferred to my school. Fair was the opposite of me, extroverted, full of energy, always the center of attention. For some reason I never completely understood, she chose the quiet girl with her nose always buried in books to be her best friend. And so we remained, through all phases of adolescence, first loves, disappointments, career choices, and now, university life. We've always had a connection that went beyond normal friendship. It was something we couldn't explain, as if our souls recognized each other from some previous life. I used to joke, especially after a few glasses of wine, that in an ideal world one of us would have been born a man so we could live a great romance, since we were practically soulmates. Fair always laughed at these musings of mine, but there was something in her gaze that made me question whether she didn't think the same sometimes. And then I arranged to meet him at the library on Monday. I conclude my narrative observing Fair, who stares at me with an amused expression. "Sofia Martins," she exclaims, giving a light slap on my arm. "You, grabbing a freshman in a dark alley, who are you and what have you done with my proper friend?" I laugh, pushing her back. It wasn't planned, it just happened. "The best moments are never planned," she says, throwing herself back on the sofa. Then she looks at me with a softer expression. "At least he seems to treat you well. Just don't fall in love too quickly, okay? You always hand over your heart on a silver platter." "I'm not going to fall in love," I respond automatically, though the feeling in my chest says otherwise. "I'm just having fun." Fair gives me a skeptical look. Sure, and I'm a nun in my spare time." She leans forward, her face suddenly closer to mine. "Let's make a deal. If he breaks your heart, I break his legs. Deal." I laugh at her fierce loyalty. Deal, but I don't think it will be necessary. There's a pause, a moment of silence between us. Fair observes me in a way I can't fully decipher. "You know," she finally says, her voice softer, "sometimes I'm jealous of these guys who come into your life." My heart skips a beat, and I don't exactly know why. Jealous? Yes, silly. She averts her gaze, in a rare moment of shyness. "Nobody knows you like I do. Nobody knows what you need or what makes you happy like I know." She looks back at me, a playful smile returning to her lips, disguising the intensity of the previous moment. "They're just supporting characters in the Sofia and Fernanda story, got it?" "Got it," I respond, feeling that comforting warmth that only she manages to awaken. "No one will ever take your place, Fair." "Good," she says, rising in a fluid movement. "Now I need a decent shower. Then shall we have lunch? I'm starving and missing that restaurant near the square. The one with that waitress who always flirts with me." "Sure," I agree, watching her gather her scattered things. "I think I need a good portion of French fries after last night. And I need all the sordid details you clearly edited from your story with the little nerd," she says, already on her way to the bathroom. "The uncensored version, understand, because I'm your soulmate and deserve to know everything." As she disappears down the hall, I sit on the sofa, hugging a cushion, thinking about how good it is to have my favorite person back. Fair has always been my safe harbor, my confidant, my partner in almost everything, from childhood mischief to important adult life decisions. There's a love between us that goes beyond common friendship. It's something that transcends easy definitions. It's not romantic in the conventional sense, it's not familial in the traditional sense, but it's deep and fundamental. She's the constant in my life full of variables. The sound of the shower running creates a relaxing soundtrack for my thoughts. I pick up my phone and see an unread message. "Still thinking about you. Can't wait for Monday. Pedro." I smile at the screen, feeling that familiar warmth spread across my chest. This weekend promises to be long, but with Fair back and the prospect of seeing Pedro on Monday, I couldn't be happier with how things are going.